and welcome to the Reflection Show with me, Martha Winspice. A lot of us have been to the universities or planning to go into the university, but we hear a lot of hearsays about what the university life is all about. Today, I'll be having a conversation with some 3 young women from the University for Development Studies here in Tamale, who will be sharing with us some of the things they thought they were going to see in the university, and now, when reality has set in, what is actually happening in the university, what they wish they knew before they got into the university. Stay tuned, we'll be back. Welcome back from the break. Thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you.
So you tell me your name, what you are studying, what level you are in, and something interesting about your school.
Okay. So I'm Fatima Kamal Tijani, a 5th year medical student, and the university is a community, and you get to meet different people with different lifestyles and get to learn a whole lot of things from them. So that's the beautiful thing about the university for me.
Okay.
My name is Mariette Nteya Salifu, a level 200 Doctor of Medical Laboratory Science student. And the one interesting thing about my school is the field practice, that's the 3rd trimester program, where students are being sent to their various communities to collect data, learn to socialize, and have fun there. And that one thing has actually made me like much about my school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, UDS, for that.
My name is Abubakar Salwa Suhini, and I'm currently in level 500 studying Doctor of Pharmacy program at University for Development Studies. One thing I like about UDS is the fact that UDS has been the big umbrella to give me the chance to meet a lot of people that I now call classmates, people that we met as strangers, but now they are people I probably live my day-to-day activities with. So I think that's one thing I would thank UDS for, because I know that after here we'll become a family and we'll continue from there.
So straight to the point, the university life, what were you hearing? And what did you see the first time you got into school? Let me start with you.
Okay, so when we were in senior high, and anytime you had any relation with the guys there, our teachers would tell us that leave those guys. Once you get to school, the boys will line up and they are nice and they dress well and they have money. I'm in level 500.
The boys are not lining up.
To line up. Yeah. Yes, and they'll usually tell us that, oh, you get a chance to go to class anytime you want. All you need to do is to write your exams and pass. But excuse me to say, I don't know whether the teachers, they gather them to tell them that they should be telling us those stories. Because I'm still looking for answers for that. Because when I went to university, I had a total shock, because that wasn't what I even saw at the university wasn't even close to what our teachers used to tell us. It was
the boys are not lying now.
The
you
boys
have
are
to
not
go to
lying.
lectures every day.
In fact, my class, they give numbers.
Woo!
You see? You're surprised.
Wow.
Exactly. So coming from SHS, I think SHS was a little bit okay compared to the university
Really?
now. Yes. But it's all fine. But when we came, it wasn't easy at first, but gradually we got used to the environment and it's been going well. But that one thing, senior high teachers, we are begging. That was the reality. So now when I'm coming, I know what I'm coming to face.
Yeah. What was some of the things that you were hearing, and when you came to school, how has it been for you?
Okay, so just as my sister here said, back at senior high school, my English teacher always tell me that, look, after university there, there's nothing hey about it. You just go to the class as and when you like. You choose to do your projects or not. You can just stay in the house for, let's say, a week or 2, then come and write your exams, and no one has time for you. No one, there was nothing, there was no big deal about it. But coming to UDS, I would say, oh, don't come to class for 1 week and be like, I'm coming to write my mid-trim, I'm coming to write my end of trim. You didn't get it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it's just a different thing altogether, because there are certain things that the teacher will actually say in the class that, like, if you're not there to pick up, he will bring the same thing in the exam. So imagine if you're only following the slides that was coming to class, like, you wouldn't get it. So, and another thing is, like, actually living alone. It wasn't easy on my part, because
you've not lived alone all your life.
All my life, because back at senior high, I would say I was having assistant headmistresses, my house masters headmistresses. They were there to guide me, even my teachers do. But coming to university, like, it was a different thing, because I had to live on my own. I had to cook my own food to eat. How to manage how,
you have to
like,
be your own
my
adult
own,
and young person.
Like, it wasn't easy. Well, they'll give me money, let's say 100 cedis for a week, and the week could not even end because the money would already finish. I'll be like, wow. So I'll call home, my dad will be like, you're now adult, manage. But these other people are doing it. So, like, why can't you do it? And I was like, okay. So as time goes on, I was trying to adjust to the environment. And so far, so good. It's been great.
How was your experience?
Okay, so I also say that the first year, or right from SHS, they say university is all about chilling and having fun. And then one nice part about it was that there is no carry forward. So what you learn this semester, you are done with it. So the next semester is something new. And as a medical student, I know that is very not practical. What you learn the next year, you are meeting it and even more, and you have to build on it. Yeah, so, and another area I didn't expect coming was friendships. That friendships were going to change a lot. Some people we were best friends with growing up. I mean, at a younger age, friendships you didn't need much to be friends with someone or anything. But then now growing up, there's a lot. Whether you are similar, whether you have similar ideologies, and a lot of things. Yeah, so basically, it's been different from.
Okay, now let's move to your courses. How did you come by your courses? Did you just choose the courses because, okay, you know, some people just buy 2 or 3 forms to different schools. I just want to go to school this year. Whatever they get, they are going. How did you come by the course that you are studying, and how has it been with the support from home and even from friends and teachers?
So my situation, I would like to take us back to my senior high days. When we were choosing our schools, I wanted to be a nurse, because nurses will wear green. And when you are in year 1, they will do one line. Year 2. Yeah, so when they see 3 lines, when you complete to full band. So I wanted to be a nurse. And so I just said, okay, then home economics is very cool. It won't stress me so much. So when I went to school, I obviously got my first choice and got home economics. But then I realized that most of the friends I came with are reading science. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at them. Most of them were equally competing in class. They're reading science. I was like, oh, that's not a problem. So we started lectures, and I realized that home economics, because of the mentality that it's not really that difficult. So there's no, like, once you go for class and stuff, we just go, they'll come and teach us. What they're teaching us, some of them, you already learned it from junior high coming. So it's not really difficult to grasp the concepts and stuff. Then one day I sat down and I told myself that, no, this is not the course for me. Like, I chose it based on who I were at that time, but now I had changed. So I went on and I said, oh, I want to read science. And I called my mom. My mom said I shouldn't disturb her. I already said I want to read home economics. And in my house, like, no one really disturbs you that much. So far as you are doing something reasonable, they won't really disturb you, as in you are supposed to do this. So I managed to convince her, and she got someone in our school at that time to kind of help me swap to science. And it wasn't easy. It was hell. Like, that moment that you take a decision, and right after the decision has changed,
you are regretting.
Like, for first term, like, I changed in second term.
Okay.
Right? So that means first term I was in home economics, second term I started reading science. They sent me to the most serious science class. Science A, when you drop a needle and the needle falls, someone is hearing the needle.
Everybody's always reading.
Quiet. Everyone is brilliant from their school. Me, this my mouth, it can't keep quiet. At least, yes, let's whisper more and gossip about someone's shoe. This gossiping wasn't coming. That one alone, like, adjusting to that environment alone, it wasn't easy. And the academic burden too, like, it wasn't, because I remember right from second trimester, I didn't stand on my feet till maybe like the third time of level form 2. That time, I had a chance to attend a lot of extra tuitions, and since I chose it, I was like, I've chosen this.
And you were determined now to study it as much as possible, because I don't think your parents would waste their time to change you back into home economics
my mom already gave me that warning, so I'm like, oh, it's a do or die something. So I just picked up, and gradually we completed senior high school. I had very good grades, and during the application process, all my mom did was, oh, this is the money that you use to go and buy forms and stuff. And that time, I had read Gifted Hand by Ben Carson, the renowned neurosurgeon. I don't know, right now he's no longer practicing, and I really wanted to be a neurosurgeon. So when you go to my Instagram, I changed it to Sally, and I now get Ali. Okay. I wanted to be the guardian Ben Carson. And fast forward, when admissions came, I didn't get medicine. I was kind of disappointed. But then I had pharmacy. So the plan was I'll read pharmacy for 1 year. Then the next year, I'll change to medicine. Okay, so I said, okay, that's fine, because me, I can't stay in the house for 1 year. That 4 months I stayed in the house, it wasn't going well with me. So I went to read pharmacy. But after 1 year, I realized I fell in love with the pharmacy. Course. Like, I love every little bit of the course now. And right now, I'm just sitting down and I'm praying to God, and I'm thanking God that even though I couldn't see the future, you just made situations,
just
choose what to be perfect for me in the future. Exactly. So that's how come I've ended up in pharmacy. And pharmacy is not really easy, but then
you're able to,
exactly. There is this it gives you hope, and it kind of ignites the light in you, even though it will stress you. But at the end of the day, you drive passion. And when you see people who have already studied it and how they are living life and how they've been able to make societal impact, it just gives you the whole nice picture that you will do well once you graduate as a pharmacist. I don't know, maybe there will be a career change one way or the other. But right
that's
now,
what you want to focus on.
I will be a pharmacist.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay. How has the journey been for you? How did you get choose the course or get to the school and all of that?
I would say it's been high and low on my part, because after completion, I was fortunate enough. I was having so many teachers on my side that would guide me to choose my courses. So I actually chose tech. I bought tech form. I chose civil engineering as my first choice. I chose medicine at UDS as my first. Fortunate enough, I had civil engineering at tech. But my UDS admission was like kind of delayed. So my dad was like, why don't you go for the civil engineering? I was like, let's wait on maybe UDS will give me the medicine that I wanted. But still now, the admission was not coming. Then my grandfather told me that like the civil engineering, like you wouldn't get job after you complete. So why don't I wait for? That was the mistake that I made. I would say that was the biggest mistake of my life, because like I actually wanted something. And the one thing I also say was the money issue now. Like that time we weren't that
so it was
stable.
A bit,
it was a bit of like a problem. So my dad was like, even though he could pay my fees to go and do civil engineering, but the hostel fees and other stuff he couldn't at that time. And the deadline too was 30th of December. And I was like, oh God, what would I do? So my dad was like, I shouldn't worry. I should just let the civil engineering go, and I'll wait on for UDS to give me the medicine that I wanted. I said, okay. So tech went on the 30th. UDS were still not giving me admission. My colleagues would call and be like,
that was a risk you took. Assuming UDS didn't give you admission, what would you?
I would have sat in the house for like 1 year
before you applied.
So I waited, still they weren't giving me. And my colleagues, those that I would say, sorry to say, I had better grades than were getting medicine. Some were getting pharmacy. I was still in the house. So I decided to take a bold step. I actually went to the school. So this is my first time of saying it. Like, I went to the school. No one was there to assist me. Like, I went there with a cousin of mine, and she sat at the entrance of the auditorium, like the main administration, rather. And I went inside. I went to compare. I was like, I wasn't getting any admission. Like they wouldn't even give me any calls. So at least they should just tell me that like maybe
You're not getting.
I'm not getting in sake of this problem. I went there and then the man said my name was actually having a problem. That's why my admission was not coming. And they actually sent me to different Pala. They gave me biomedical science or what? I was like, why? They were like, since I chose medicine as my first, pharmacy as second, and medical lab as third, like if medicine people take my distance, they wouldn't release it for pharmacy people. And if pharmacy also takes my forms, they wouldn't release it for Medilab. So those 3 top courses in the university, like if I don't get it now, they'll send me to a different department or a different campus. I was like, okay. So fortunate on my part, I saw one of the lecturers on campus, and I don't know him. I just approached him. I showed him my results slip, and he was like, did you get any course at all? I said, yeah, they gave me biomedical science. And he was like, I should just wait, that he will do something about it. But Abba, he said he could have helped me to get the medicine that I wanted, but it was too late because that time all the admissions were actually closed. Pharmacy to the same thing. So he would try and see if he could get Medilab for me. I said, why not? It was part of the course that I chose.
It means you actually wanted to do it.
So he tried. I went home. I couldn't sleep that day. I was just praying. I said, God, please let me get this Medilab. The next day, my admission was still not coming. I went back again. That time, I went back with my dad because the first time I was going, my dad was like, I don't know anybody from UDS. If I just go with you, that would be like cost 90 because no one will be there to help you. So we went back for the second day. Now I know someone that I could approach. We went back for the second day and he was there. We were like, it's not in. I said, yes, sir, it's not in. Okay. Then he now made me to follow him to the administration. He went and met someone, and that person like.
Then they processed and helped you.
Everything. They helped me out. When I went to, I was like, that day.
I like that bold step you took because someone could have just said, "Oh, I'm not getting. Let me just." But I like that bold step you took.
That 1 week. I was actually depressed.
I understand. Like it was a long wait.
It was a long wait because my parent I was the first child. Like I have to do something.
Firstborn, yes, I'm also a firstborn. I understand it. That's fine.
Like it wasn't
the
easy.
Pressure on firstborns is serious.
So I was like, if I don't go to school this week, I don't know where I'll be at. And since I've already lost the opportunity of going to tech, if not next year, I don't want to sit in the house for like 1 year again. So
it's been a journey. Yeah.
I came to school. Another problem. Anyone thought that sees on campus. Maria, which course are you doing? I do medicine. Medicine. I was like, why? Need me to like study now. Everyone that sees me medicine. Are you a medical student? I said no, I'm doing Medilab. So I said I was like, I'm not making a mistake.
So the Medilab is more like those in the labs.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, they were making me to have 2 choices now. I was like,
okay, so medicine is like the medical doctor. Then pharmacy is like those who give prescribe.
Yes.
The Medilab is those in the labs. Okay.
Lab, yes. So I was like, okay. Since they've already given me, I can't do anything about it. So that particular period, that first time, I was like off and on. I would always sneak for lectures and go home, like go back to my hostel. From my hostel to my lecture room. From my lecture room, I didn't want anyone to see me and be asking me, are you doing medicine? Are you doing medicine? Kind of like, can't I do medicine? I didn't get that opportunity. Doesn't mean I can't do medicine. Because I had a very good grade. Why not?
Yeah.
But still now. But second try, I was like, Maria, this thing you are doing now, it will help you. Because, like, you should be who you are. I shouldn't try to impersonate myself for someone that wants
be who you are. And sometimes our friends, we don't help ourselves.
Yes.
We make it look like, and you know, I don't like that. Anytime they release results like BEC or what, there's this thing that I don't like. People post people's results on social media and they are congratulating. I'm like, I don't know who wrote the exams for me. If I had failed or didn't get let's say a single number, would you have done it? And for me, I think that's invading people's privacy.
Exactly.
If it is your nephew or your niece or I don't know, but I seriously have an issue with that. Where people write, especially BEC, for what it is better. But BEC, people take people's BEC results and they are posting on Facebook, posting on WhatsApp and congratulating them. Can't you congratulate me in private? I wrote the exams in private. Because of the fame and the grade they had. Those who had a aggregate 30 something and 40 who post them. So really, I think that thing is, well, I'm not so comfortable with that. Unless maybe you are seeking for scholarship or support for a child. that's fine. But if it's congratulations, why do you have to post it out there? Yes. How has your journey been like?
Okay, so like every African home, a good student and a science student, you're expected to be in the medical school. So, but personally, I wanted to do journalism or go into the media because I've always had interest in it. My dad kept encouraging me that, oh, I can do medicine afterwards. I go into the media. So I also like chose medicine, and by God's grace, I had it. And I still nurture my media aspirations. Yeah. So generally, that has been it for me. But then I want to put a message across for parents of science students in SHS that please, every science student, their parents wants them to read medicine. That's like the top priority. So you see that when they are choosing their courses, they are choosing medicine, pharmacy, and Maria mentioned it's pharmacy. They are choosing all the top health courses, and you know these are all in high demand. Someone's first choice is pharmacy, so if you choose pharmacy as your second choice, when medicine is done, they're taking it to pharmacy. It's also a high demand course. They're taking it to somewhere that there is no pressure, probably biochemistry. So that's how come you end up getting these courses. So be sure, if you know that you can get the medicine, choose it as your first choice. If you are sure that it's pharmacy, choose it as your first choice. So that's what I'll say.
Okay. Yeah. So choose as your first choice. This first choice. Hey, you yes, people. Okay. Sometimes I just look at some of these courses and things. When we finish school, we didn't even want to even go near these people. Those who are sharks, they should go and do their course. We just chose our gentleman courses to just go and do and all that. But we go to UCC, and we found that at UCC there's nothing like gentleman course. Hey, UCC. Who even sent me to that school? But it's been an experience. UCC will put you on your toes. UCC, oh my goodness, University of no, it's not Cape Coast.
Come on,
I won't say this on air. Please don't come on this. You DS people, don't bring yourself to UCC. You DS people, don't bring yourself. We'll be back. Let's go for a break. Welcome back from the break. We are still trying to understand how the tertiary education journey is like and how we can prep ourselves before we get there. So now, when you now got into the school, you've mentioned some of the things that you thought it was and all of that. What is more? I don't want to. Okay, so let me give you an idea. In terms of relationships, in terms of having fun, in terms of going for programs, in terms of combining studies. You know, in the senior high school, you have time for this, you have time for that, you have time for prep, you have a senior house mistress. But this one, you would have to do all these things. How has it been since you got into the school? How did you adjust, and how has it been now for you?
It was when I got to university that I appreciated how the Catholic system of my senior high, it was so strict and disciplined, so life was much easier. And then I get into the university space, and it's do whatever you want whenever, but just know that there's accountability at the end. So it was difficult for me in the early days because now I didn't have a phone in senior high and previously, so I was able to focus previously, but now I have a phone, and then I have friends texting me all over. I have to go on Instagram to check out a lot of things, you know. So the social media distraction was big for me, and I had to really, really discipline myself. And then the course was demanding. I had to always be learning. So it took me roughly a year to adjust into the school system because, as I said, back-to-back studying, and you get tired, you get stressed sometimes. And I just had to learn that it's not all about learning, that you have to find a balance. When you study small, you go out to do something, maybe go out with friends, find a hobby, something that brings up your interest. If not, trust me, you get depressed. You get depressed early in life. And then learn to have a balance Initially, some of my friends were accusing me, you are not being a good friend anymore. Now you've come to university and medical school, so you've forgotten about us. But it wasn't me. I was having a hard time adjusting. So I remember at some point I deleted all social medias. Like I just only WhatsApp. I left just WhatsApp because of school, just to find my feet. And then by God's grace, I started watching YouTube videos on how to manage your time, YouTube has been a great steady place for me in discipline.
Some of us use it for movies.
and being a better person, and I'm very glad I came to the university.
How has it been coming into the university and disciplining yourself?
Okay, so back at senior high, you hardly see me going like moving around with friends. I was the intro, yeah. I always like find my own kind. I was having this small chemical that my chemistry teacher actually allocated to me to be studying. So I would always lock myself in that particular room. If not, like 1 or 2 friends that will come and visit, or like my study mates that will come around. So when I came to RUDS, I was like, can I actually continue doing that? So I was like, no. But as Ajamari always said, that university is like a universal city. You can't just pass through the university without doing anything. You should try to like network, because after school, what else? You have your certificate, yeah, but you don't have any social life. You don't have any network. So level 100, I was just staying in their house one day, and I was like, let me text someone. So I looked through my contact list, and I saw Sister Nima's contacts, the current Hukum. I texted her. I was like, Sister Nima, I'm available. I'm not doing anything in the house now. So like, if you have any program at all that you want in assistance, I'm always available. She said, okay. So the following week, she also texted me that they're having a particular program at National Health Insurance Office, that if I could pass by. I said, I'm free, let me pass by. So I passed by, and then we had 1 or 2 interactions, and that was it. Anytime I thought that they're having program, she would tell me, and I would come. And yeah, and balancing my educational life with social life, it's not been easy, because I don't actually say I don't like friends, so but I'm the type that always want to like keep things to myself. I don't like mingling myself with friends and other stuff. So it's been difficult, and I'm trying to like come out of that particular shell of mine. So I'm trying to be like the social type of person. Yeah, I'm trying. So yeah, doing it.
You have to try as much as possible. How has it been for you getting into the school, adjusting with everything and everyone?
Personally, I don't even know. I think it's been a little bit tough, because I'm a social butterfly. I want to be everywhere. And my course won't give me the chance. If you see me somewhere during lecture hours, just know that I've sneaked out.
You sneaked out, yeah.
We'll have a lecture. So now that you see me here and it's lecture hours, you know what happened. Exactly. But then one thing I've realized is that when I was in senior high, I was the nerd, because I didn't go to science class early, so I had to learn to catch up. I didn't get a chance to go for any programs, no leadership portfolio, nothing. I just passed through senior high. Entertainment once in a while, because when it's entertainment, I've taken my books, I'm learning somewhere. Nothing. Even though I wasn't that type of person, because once you come to interact with me, you know that like I'm not the introvert, I'm not a reserved type. I like to talk, I like to be loud. So when I came to the university, I realized that they were talking so much about unemployment, but there are some people that before they graduate the university, they already have jobs waiting for them. So I started looking into this situation, and I've realized that once we graduate, there's a number of people that will get first class, a huge number of people that will get second class upper. So you have a lot of people that have what you have. What else do you have that will make you stand out? And I now came to the conclusion that yes, it's your social capital, because you realize that once you graduate, what you know don't really count, because people that are competing with you equally knows the same thing. So your social capital will count more. You being able to adjust, you being able to express yourself. And if you don't get the chance to go out, to go for programs, the classroom doesn't give you that opportunity,
Teach,
because
yeah.
you realize that the lecturing system, even though we do presentation, but just a little bit. And if you present and your presentation is not well, the worst the lecturer will do is just to maybe give you a half instead of a 1 mark. The lecturer won't tell you, oh, when you come out, this is how you're supposed to talk. This is how you're supposed to talk to engage your audience.
They don't do that training.
They
They just
don't
give you
really
the marks
do
and
that
you have
training.
to go.
Meanwhile, you need it, because if I have all the knowledge in my head and I can't convince you to believe in me that, oh, I can actually do this job, then my knowledge is equally useless. So since I realized that, I knew that the social education, the social capital is as equally important as your intellectual education.
Yeah.
So that's when my problem comes in, because sometimes maybe I have a quiz that maybe I could commit 3 hours to study this quiz before the time, but then there's a program coming up. I have to force myself to either lose sleep or something to study the quiz very well, so that I can get some time, I can buy myself some time to go for such programs. And that's one secret about the university no one actually really tells you, because at the end of the day, you realize that when you graduate, everyone equally have the same skills that you have. There's something that you will go outside to learn.
That's a key thing you are mentioning.
Exactly. There's something that you will go outside to learn that will add up to your certificate and make you stand out and make people ask, who is this person? I'd like to work with this person. So with that, juggle. So I can't say I've been able to master that. I'm still juggling both, because my course is actually really demanding. And I've realized that, oh, there's so many things I actually want to do for myself after graduation, that the university is an environment where I could learn that. So since I realized that I've not placed anyone higher than the other, I just try to manage my time effectively to be able to move on with both, so that at the end of the day, when I graduate with all the knowledge and all the experience, I'll be able to possibly impact the lives of others, to be able to leave this earth with a thank. Because you realize that most of those people that has influenced people only influenced it through communication, effective communication. And the university education in the classroom settings doesn't really that much. But then outside the classroom settings, you'll be able to learn a lot regarding that. So I think people should try, when you go to school, don't do the all book stuff. You need to incorporate the social the social capital aspect of the university education, so that at the end of the day, even like not being able to express yourself, when you need something somewhere, you have a friend that you can call. It's not all about the people you met when you were in the university and stuff. So
we are told that you girls in the universities, you are promiscuous. Yes, this is something we keep hearing, that most girls in the universities are promiscuous. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard it. I'd say it's partly true, because especially for the first year, you know, a lot of people are coming to school and they're telling you that I'm coming to meet. There are lots of fine boys in the university, and you can dress, go for parties, and all those things. So I've personally seen I was in my second year at that time, but the first years that had come at that time, they were going for parties almost always. And at some point, it wasn't pleasant to see, because some of the girls were now being influenced and they were taking alcohol, like with so much drama with boys. And
so you think that because there is no restriction?
Yes.
You know, earlier when I said that the university lifers, you have to be the what's the name? The adult and the young person. You would have to guide yourself in everything. So because there are no restrictions, they do everything that they want. Yes. Would you think that's okay, go ahead before I bring this question.
For some people who are from very strict homes, this is like their
freedom.
Time. Like, I'm now free to do whatever I want to do. So they go all out and
it depends. Sometimes from before I started staying alone, I used to say that when I start staying alone, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do everything. I started staying alone. And it's like, just like you said, from work to the house, to church, to school. That's how my life was. I had never gone to any party. I had never until I think some friend who has some get together and they invited me, and I do my own events, hang out with Martha in Spice, and that's not even like a party. It's more like a hangout and more education, those kind of things. So before I want us to go for a break, but I want to ask a question. Do you think that the university should be handled somehow like the senior high school? Should there be some restrictions in the universities, especially maybe for first year, so they can guide them or counseling service or whatever? Think about it. We'll be back. Welcome back from the break. We are still getting to know about the university life, what we wish we knew before we got into the university, and all that it has to be done. So let me come to you. In fact, my question, we have just about 10 minutes to wrap up. Do you think that we should start having prep hours, we should start having assembly, we should start having these things in the universities? I mean, restrictions.
Okay, so when it comes to restrictions, I would say yes, in a way, but the assembly, the preps, oh nah, I think it should be optional. Because
you are not big girls and big boys.
not big girls per se.
Or we should even introduce uniforms.
That's
Because in terms of the preps, like we have different study hours, different like times for graph paintings, and like no, not for the preps there. And the uniform thing, no. And when it comes to the restrictions, I always believe that you should know where you are coming from. You should know your background. That should be the most important thing. Because I'm coming from a family that is not from that angle that everyone is looking at. I'm coming from that family that a girl should, like a firstborn should get up and fight for herself. So a girl from that particular caliber of like life should know how to discipline herself in the school. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to like copy my friends, because I know at the end of the day, my dad will always tell me that, look, Maria, you are me and I'm you. You are the family. You are our hope.
You see that kind of pressure that they put on the first so we don't like that.
I take certain steps, I have to think twice.
I have to do an episode I've been thinking of doing, the dilemma of the first child.
Yes, I have to think twice, because like if I should make a little mistake now, it wouldn't just like affect only me, it will actually affect the whole family, because all of them are actually looking up to me. So like in terms of restrictions, I always believe that the self-discipline should be number one. You should know where you are coming from.
Know where you are coming from. Yeah. Do you think that we should have these kind of restrictions in the universities?
Do you mean first year or throughout?
Throughout restrictions.
Honestly, I think no. No, because...
How about I'm just imagining the Minister of Education coming out and say that from now onwards, all university students are going to wear uniforms. Wow. Hey! Like he has to just off all his social media handles and go and sleep.
Like university, mostly the average age of most people entered university with is like 17, 18. And I don't know, depending on where, like the type of parenting you have, it will influence your behavior when you get to the university. It will influence your behavior when you feel like there's no one watching you. You get to dress how you want. You get to talk to who you want. So I think parents should do more of a better job at parenting us, especially with the girls. Because I feel like if you instill discipline in your children right from starts, discipline doesn't mean when they see you, they'll shake and do what you want. Discipline means even when you are not looking, they'll still do what is right. Once you raise your children on that path, if you are not there, if your child will have to travel overseas to study, they will still go with that principle you raised them with. So, like, let's say prep hours. When we're in senior high, prep hours was like from 7:30 to 9:30, just 2 hours. Right now, if we are having exams and I decide to go and study a course, maybe I didn't study. I will go as early as maybe 6 p.m. Then probably I'll leave the classroom at 5 a.m.
Wow.
When we're in senior high, they would tell you that after 10, you don't have to stay in the classroom. You have to go and sleep.
Even in dormitories, they would want to restrict you and say you cannot study.
So that's why I have a problem with the university education having this type of restriction. You just know that at the end of the day, you have to be held accountable. And I don't know of others, but for my school,
And it
you
prepares
can
you for adulthood as well.
exactly. You can get repeated.
In a university?
My class, they've repeated some when we're level 100. So you see someone,
Wait,
you
they
relate-
repeat people in the universities.
Yes.
They do. They sack
you meet
They
people
sack
that
them for poor academic performance. I think
Yes.
I've heard that, but I don't really know why that is
sack
so.
and repeat.
they repeat
With
and
you.
sack. And I've seen people that has been repeated in my class. So no matter what we are doing,
And
no
you
matter
pay
the,
fees again for the
yes, no matter the type of party, no matter how the parenting style wasn't on point at your homes, the university, once you come, they will give you the rules. If you can follow up the rules, you can pass through till graduation. If you can't, maybe you get repeated. Instead of 6 years, you spend 7 years. Who wants that? 6 years is already so much of time for you to even add an additional year.
They
So
cannot
that
take
one
time. They'll
is,
repeat to you when you get to 300 or 400 level. You do it, they'll repeat to you again.
yes.
Wow.
Like if you trail a course, then you go and write a receipt. Receipt, we always say, is last chance. Once you fill that receipt, you'll be repeated. Even if you did 20 courses, that's one. You'll be repeated.
Wow.
You're surprised, huh? So that's enough. I think that's enough guidance.
I think
principle
Ghana
and
Education
enough
Service, in a way,
restriction.
have stopped this repetition thing even in primary school. There are some schools that they have stopped that repeating.
But you
UDS,
realize that
wow.
the nature of our course, we are health
Yes,
courses,
of course.
right?
So if you're not
so they
repeating-
wouldn't want to graduate you as maybe a doctor of pharmacy, a product of UDS, and you come out and you won't perform.
Yeah.
People's lives are
In your hands.
in your hands. And we always say that one mistake you make can kill one or a lot of people. So they have to make sure that once we are coming out fully baked.
Wow.
Branded.
They repeat people in UDS.
They repeat.
So if you are choosing UDS, if you are coming to UDS, make sure that you are coming to study. If not, they'll repeat you. Give me your final words. Let me start from you.
Okay, so my final words is university is a big place. It's a place to learn. It's a place to get to know people and make the most of your university days. As they've been saying, network, get to know people, study as you are there to study. But then, yes, make friends, have fun, and with the friends, please know your kind of people. It's not everyone that's your kind of people. Growing up, our parents are always telling us that, oh, she's your friend, give her some of your biscuits. Oh, she's your friend. So then you grow up thinking everyone is your friend. Learn to distinguish acquaintances, friends.
One day I'll ask you about the snatching of boyfriends and
Okay.
stuff.
And one last thing I'll talk about is it's okay not to have a relationship. I mean, romantic relationship in the
school,
university.
yeah.
It's very okay. I mean, you come and see everyone is dating, everyone is whatever, and then you might be pressured to go into one. And
You'll be
trust
there
me.
saying, God, when?
You know,
Hey, my God, when association?
as you're waiting, be working on yourself. Learn how to live on your own. Learn how to be confident in yourself, so that anyone that's coming that's not up to your standard, you're able to tell that this is not the kind of person I deserve better.
You deserve better. Yeah, your final words.
Okay, so as a school university, you should know when and when not to do certain things. You should know the kind of standards that you set yourselves to meet at the end of the day. Yeah, and I also like to use this particular platform to say a very big thank you to my dad, for this opportunity. Yeah, because it's through him that I've been able to be the
Talk to your
Maria that
father.
I am
Talk to
today.
your father.
Because at every step of life, at every step that I've been able to take, he's always there. My dad can come to, let's say, my school. The time that we're having this such a mass quiz, this thing, I was the only girl in that particular quiz team. So
Okay.
I couldn't sleep in the school at that time because a lot of the girls have already gone home.